Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 28. This is round number 6. We're at the halfway point of the season. 5 rounds have been done, and we still got 5 more to go, including this one. We're still in Europe, and we go to Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. First used in 1906, but the first Formula One race was back in 1971, where Jackie Stewart won that race. Circuit Paul Ricard, located in the sunny south of France. Some people like the track, some people don't like it. My name is Jess, will be your commentator for this evening. I am alone in the box this evening. Owen can't join me tonight, but we're still going to have some great action nonetheless, so make sure that you stay tuned throughout the night. So last week we head to the Netherlands around Zandvoort, and a last-minute safety car and also weather changes as well at the end definitely threw a spanner in the works. We saw Gil go from near the back of the grid to winning the race, and it was actually his first win in PSGL for quite a long time, and when I was speaking to him last week, he was very glad to win it, to be honest. So he won last week, and we saw Banner take second place. There was quite a few stewards penalties actually after last week, which I'll go through a little bit in a second, but before that we'll go through the championship standings. So the championship standings at the moment, we've got Lamakina that's leading on 32 points now. We've got another banned driver of Lars. He's no longer allowed to race in this league anymore, but he is second on 31 points. Gil is in third, believe it or not, with 28. And we got Hadler on 25, Luca on 21, Balliner on 17, KJ on 16, Antoine on 15, Suku with 13, joint with Benny and Rob Valley. 10 points with Greeny and M Short, 9 points for Fabi, Ascom 6 points, Igoro 6 points, CC Brain 5 points, Totsi Tomato 3 points, and then Fenny yet to score, and Simo is actually our newest full-time driver replacing Petrus. So there we go. So that is your championship standings. I'll get the constructors' standings a little bit later on. Before we head to the actual track, let's have a look at the track map. So France is 8.8 kilometres long, 15-10, 6 to the left and 9 to the right. And it has quite a few DRS zones as well, especially the one heading through towards turn 8. I think that's where we're going to see the most overtaking opportunities, but watch out for the other zones as well. And we're now heading to qualifying, and look at that, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time in a while, it is a wet qualifying session for now. So as long as it stays like this, the drivers will have free tyre choice in the race. But by the way some people have chosen soft, it may strongly suggest that it's going to dry up later on, but we will have to wait and see. But if it stays like this, they're obviously on the inters anyway. Who remembers last season? It was the last season where France was visited, season 27. It was round 3 of the championship, I believe, or round 4. Can't quite remember from the top of my head. But we saw a dry to wet race, both in F2 and in Xbox as well. So it was quite common. And the thing that stroked me was that they started on the soft and then they went to mediums. I'm like, hang on, you can't do soft to medium. So that rang alarm bells in my head, thinking it's going to be a wet end to the race, and it was. And it definitely changed things up a bit. But it's going to be a lap's going to be a little bit different. A few drivers are going to be struggling at the start of qualifying, but the drivers are out now. I think I'll probably getting used to the conditions at the moment, so we'll try and follow someone on the lap. Let's go on board with Greeny actually as we head towards the final corner. You're going to be heading towards turn 1, the braking zone for turn 1 coming up. One of the longest straights, as you can see, coming up. You're going to aim your car as far to the right as you possibly can on entry, and then go to the left on exit. And actually, no, Greeny was actually on an out lap, so flying lap, so I need to find someone else who was on a lap. No, I actually followed people on board at the wrong time, so I'll follow someone on a hot lap for you very, very soon. But yeah, the braking zone's going to be a lot trickier in the wet. They would usually brake about 100 metres in turn 1, but probably a lot earlier, 150 potentially as well. This car is definitely an understeery track, so the drivers have got to cater their setup to cope with the understeer. If they don't, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of drivers are in the pits right now. And it's quite dark, and usually we get indications in qualifying on whether it's going to be dry in the race or not, but obviously we don't have that indication right now. As Benny in 5th place, he got disqualified from the results last week. Not quite sure why, but it said in the standings that he got disqualified, so he's looking to improve on that this week. And quite a few people actually on these intermediate tyres, because they won't be using it at the start of the race, they are able to go on those intermediate tyres for a lot longer because they can have fresh sets at the start, and they only get a few to use in the weekend, so you can't just go on 3 sets, completely 3 different sets of minutes in qualifying, because then you'll use them all up ready for the race, and it wears out pretty quickly around this track. It lasts the same time as the medium tyres, so expect more than 1 lap to be on these tyres, to be honest. I should have went on board with Greeny really, but I didn't, so there we go. We'll go on board with Toxic out lap very, very soon as well. And you can see people flicking between the softs and the inters to find out which is the best tyre. Now, in a normal short qualifying session, we were expecting lap times to be around about 1:27s mainly, with a few people getting into the 1:26s as well. So that is the potential to be doing very, very well, as for some reason I forgot to change the overlay to cater for 19 drivers, but there we go, I've got it in the end, so do not worry folks, I've got that fixed for you. But the conditions are starting to improve. You can start to see the sun peeking out as well, so I'll be watching the deltas very closely indeed. And one person I think to watch out in the wet, maybe Fabi as well, who was good, and also Gil as well. Gil is here this week. It's actually his home track too, so he's got the hope that the conditions are like that in the race. So he was expecting he wasn't going to win this week, but he did deny Ballina's home race win. Maybe Ballina could do the same this week to Gil, but we shall see. So let's follow Toxic on a lap then. So hopefully I won't get a cursed lap this time with hopefully no invalidation. So we're going to start through turn 1, DRS enable. The track is drying up then. So maybe a few people deciding that maybe it was the right decision for them to stay in the pits, because otherwise they would be going out for a bit longer. We've got World Rally already going on to the medium compounded tyres. Heading towards turn 3 and 4 now. Clipping that left-hand curb here. Going through to turn 5 and heading towards turn 6 now. When you do so, you need to lift the throttle at 40% in the wet at least, and it's no rain. No rain at all, so it's dry very quickly, but there is a bit of spray on the track. But that will, I think, will be people's last lap. I won't be surprised if people abort these laps. We expect Toxic to go a little bit quicker as you head towards turn 8. Obviously, since DRS was enabled, he was able to hit the detection zone as well. The ins are a little bit more trickier now in these conditions, so we will see, but he's committing to the lap anyway by the looks of things as he heads towards turn 11 and 12. Brake shortly after the 50-metre board coming up here as well, that's what I would say. And the braking point for turn 12, I would say a little bit trickier than turn 11. Because if you don't hit that right, he's struggling a little bit. I won't be surprised if it's an invalidation, and yeah, unfortunately, that was an invalidation there. So, because Lars has been banned from the league, we got a full-time driver to replace him, and we got Manolo, who was full-time last season. So, great to have him back in the league. So, a big welcome to him. Let's see how well he does in France. And to be honest, he's got nothing to lose. He's not in the championship fight, but I'm sure he wants to help Haas do well in the Constructors' Championship as he heads towards turn 10 now. On his outlap, everybody is on the soft tyre apart from World Rally. I'm intrigued as to why Manolo's going out so quickly, but it's still quite damp. But you can, I think, driving this. We'll watch Manolo's actual pace on these softs to see if it was the right decision, but there's hardly any spray, so maybe him going out now is not a bad move because everyone else is going out now too. So Luca's actually retired from the session because he's had a qualifying ban, and it just gives me a good chance actually to talk to you about the stewards results from last week, which did reflect in the standings. KJ Eltink crossed the pit entry line last week in Netherlands. They were warned about that. And 5 seconds was added to his race time with 1 licence point. And Luca Blott had it on a hot lap last week. And that's why he's got qualifying ban this week. Greeny also cut the pit entry line last week too. And he had 5 seconds added to his final race time from last week. So those were the few penalties that were added last week. The rest that were reported to the stewards were no further action. So let's see how Manolo does. Not too bad actually right now. Let's see how he handles turn 8. The skies are about to be sunny as well, so I wonder, it's a bit, I would say it's a bit slightly going through the entry of turn 8 and 9, but I think he should be okay and he should be able to set a lap in. I'm actually going to see, I think there's a Williams driver that is about to finish a lap first, or are they on their out lap? I'm not entirely sure, but nope, Williams is on their out lap and he's just moved out the way for Manolo as well. Now, I haven't seen many races in real life in Paul Ricard when it was raining, but usually the main action happens towards the end of the race. Remember with Charles Leclerc battling back in the day. I think it was 2019, and that was a very good end to the race. Wasn't the best start of the race at least, but Manolo with the 131.4, so it shows that the track is drying up just a little bit and enough for the softs. Bannon, last week's pole sitter, is on a lap. Our championship leader, Lamborghini, is currently on the lap. His teammate, however, has gone fastest with a 130.4. We do know it's not representative yet because the track has not fully climatised to what you would expect in a normal dry session. So we'll see what he does there. Now, Lamborghini was very unlucky with the conditions last week. He ended up finishing lower down. He didn't score any points this week. He's got to score points this week in order to make sure that he stays ahead. And Lamborghini goes fast with a 130.1. So who else is going faster at the moment? We've got Simo, who's on Simo, or how do you say? I'm rubbish at names, I do apologise. Who is on a lap right now. He's heading past into turn 11. We'll see. I didn't see what his sector 2 split was, but KJ goes fast. He's got a 129.6, so times are getting very, very quicker at the moment. In the next few minutes, we could see times which are a lot similar, but for now, Simo heads towards the final few corners. Turn 15 he goes. And sometimes I get caught out when the start-finish straight ends. But it ends here, the 128.6. And Banner goes second fastest too. Anyone else on that? We've got last week's race winner who unfortunately has invalidated his lap time. Antoine has also invalidated. Suku has, I think he's about to go into the pits. Yes, he is. KJ, I believe, is on a lap. He's running out of fuel though. So I wonder if he invalidated his first lap, but I think a majority of people will be starting on the softs, but they won't be doing soft to mediums, they will be doing soft to hards because hards last quite a bit longer than the mediums. Lap 6 to 8, I would say, is the pit stop window. We'll talk about a little bit of that later on as KJ heads towards the pit lane exit and he goes into the pits. Now, a lot of the layouts have changed with the pit lane exit line, but luckily a lot of drivers had a few games to get used to that. So, but remember when I get caught out with a patch that changed it, and I almost got a penalty as well for speeding, which was not a good idea to say the least. The majority of people are going into the pits, but CC Brain is fastest at the moment with Simo in second. Now, interesting fact, actually, Michael Schumacher has more French Grand Prix wins than any other driver, but all of them were at the Mandy Cool track as well. And Paul Ricard offers 167 track configurations, so It's not just used for F1, it's used for GT as well. And lots of other things. I wonder if it's used for motorcycling. I'll need to double check that after the race. But I think it might be, as I did see a Mercedes driver come out of the pit lane. So did the Ferrari. I think CC Brain will not be happy with that. Fenny, on the other hand, is on an out lap. Luckily, his invalidation was on his out lap anyway, so no problem at all. The shortest actual track configuration around this circuit is 0.8 kilometers, which astounds me, to be honest. And I have a feeling some people would want to start on the mediums, alternate strategy pole position. Now, I've spoken to a few, drivers in the past in some seasons, and so for some of them the alternate strategy works, for some of them it doesn't. For me, it depends on the pace of the driver as well. If they don't have good pace, then obviously the alternate strategy will not work for them. As you're not allowed to give the toe to any other drivers, to your teammates actually, otherwise you will be severely penalised, sadly. Now, whilst people are on their out laps, it gives me a good opportunity to talk about a few points from the stewards. Now, the time of this session is set to midday because in normal qualifying, you do get blinded in turn 1 and in a few other corners, so it makes sense, of course. And the pit entry, once again, they have been warned. Crossing the solid right line, separating the track, and pit entry is prohibited. And when pitting, all 4 wheels must remain on or within the lines. This means dropping a 4-wheel beyond the white line on the outside is prohibited. And if the drivers do get caught that, either by another driver or on stream, they will be penalised. But anyway, everybody's about to start their final laps with 40 seconds remaining. It's actually my first time in a while where I'll be calling the final part of qualifying, as Ruben, who has just joined qualifying, which is now 20 drivers, which is great to see. So another place where I have to change. But he's invalidated. I don't think he's going to have time to go out again unless he goes very, very fast. As Handler goes into a 127.4. That's more like it. One of many more people go into the 127s. As we are just waiting for the final few seconds of qualifying. We have Greeny, who's about to start his final lap. We do have a Haas car as well. Has a lot of traffic, so I wonder if we're going to get a Monza situation where everyone is not going to get the best lap possible. We'll find out. The chicken flag's about to drop. CC Brain Vanny Man is second at best. Simo in third. We've got a McLaren driver. I believe that's Toxic. No, but it's not Toxic. It is his teammate of Benny, who's about to cross the line. What can he do? 127.8 puts him in P2. Next, coming across the line, we got a Mercedes driver. Is it Ascom or is it M Short? It is Ascom. Heading towards 14 and then heading into 15. We've got an Alfa Romeo not that far behind him too. Didn't see what his split was either, but it's looking not too bad for us. Ascom on the memes. If he gets in the top 10 on the memes, that'll be really good. 4th place. What about one of the Alfa Romeos? We've got a Lamborghini. It was a Ferrari that actually crossed the line, not an Alfa Romeo. It was Benny that can only manage in 4th position. We've got a Haas car, who is in pole position of Banana. Great to see. What about Manolo, only 12th? So let's look at the Alfa Romeos and the final drivers across the line. We've got Lamborghini, and then we've got another Mercedes of M Short as well. Fabi goes into the pits. Lamborghini in a P6. M Short in P8. What about Greeny? Greeny in P16. So we just got Handler actually come across the line. We've got Gil in second, Antoine in third, KJ in fourth, but can Handler improve? Nope, he does not. He dives it into the pit lane. So Banana has gone on pole once again with a 1:26.905. Now I'll need to check what pole time was last season in PSGL. So let me have a look actually. Let me just have a bit of a nose. So pole last season if it'll let me get to that part. Pole last season was a 1:26.8, so not quite where it was last season, but don't forget it did start in the wet, so that's probably why. If it was a fully dry session, I think more people would have gone in the 1:26s. But here we go then, your qualifying results. Ballina on pole, with Gill in second. Same top two as last week in the race, but other way around. Antoine third, KJ in fourth, Suku in fifth, Heather in sixth, Penny in seventh, Lamacuna in eighth, CC Brain ninth, and then we got M Shaw in 10th, then we got Benny, Ascom, Simo, Fabi, Royal Valley, Manolo, Greeny LFC, and Ruben, Luca, and Toxic Tomato. 3 people did not set a lap time, unfortunately, but it may not be the end of the world for them. So I wonder if people on the medium tyres in qualifying strongly suggest it is going to be a dry race, which it looks like it at the moment. Sunny skies here at Le Castellet. Now, there has been many battles in the French Grand Prix in the past. There was a first lap crash in 1989. It was caused by Monsieur Gelgerman, I think that's how you say it, in the Leighton House, who locked his brakes and hit the back of Thierry Bolson's Williams. And the Leighton House ended upside down on Nigel Mansell's Ferrari, and the race had to be restarted. Let's hope we don't have any lap 1 carnage here today as well. There was a surprise winner in a year later, back in 1990. Actually, 1 year after his dramatic first lap crash, Gilman and his Leighton House teammate, Ivan Capelli, almost caused an upset. And they ran 1-2 for much of the race before Alain Prost overtook them both, and they took a home victory. Well, Prost took a home victory anyway. Gugelmin retired with a blown engine, sadly. So it almost was a surprise victory, but I wonder if we're going to get a surprise victory here today. Let us know in the chat by getting involved as well. Actually, we'll get the tyres up as well for you, if you just give me a second. So there we go. So your tyres for today. Oh, I did not get the tyres. I got the penalties. I skipped a little bit too far. But there we go. So M Shaw, only person inside the top 10 to go on the mediums. So he's going for the alternate strategy. But he can't go medium to soft. He can only go soft to hard. But no, he can only go medium to hard, sorry. Everybody else outside the top 10, I'm not really surprised why have they gone for this option. They've all gone for the hard compound tyres. Now, in alternate strategy pole position is Benny right now in the Ferrari. He's currently sitting on 13 points. He's looking to score more points today. He went on the alternate strategy in the first race of the season, Bahrain Short, which, if you did not watch that, it was a crazy race. I wonder if he's going to repeat himself today. Ascom in P12 as well, in a good position. I think one driver to watch out for, I would say. Fabi, Greeny, who's also the kings of alternate strategies. Luke as well obviously had to start at the back. He's not starting last though, because of his number in the game. Toxic and Ruben had to start at the back. So that's not bad for Luca, but bad if you're the likes of Toxic Tomato and Ruben. So I'm going to get my predictions in the chat. I usually don't get predictions for the race, but I'm going to get my predictions here. I think I'm going to go for KJ win today. KJ was looking good in fourth. Usually if you're running fourth in France around here, usually they get good starts. So I'm going to predict KJ may get the victory today. Could Ballina get his first win of the season? He almost got the win last time about, but he was still very happy with a P2. I think the rain coming as early as it did, he wasn't expecting the win anyway, as we're waiting for the final driver to make their way onto the grid, which it is Ruben in the Ferrari. Okay then, so the second half of the season is about to start with the 4-5 red lights. A long hole, but we are underway. Good start for Ballina, good start for from Gill as well, heading towards turn 1. It's a bit of ghosting, but also a good start from the Williams driver as well of Antoine, but he's dropped a little bit, wasn't able to capitalise on it, but Hadler is trying to capitalise on it as well. I'm not sure who's in the lead due to some timing glitches, sadly, but it is the Haas Urbana that's had a really clean getaway. The racing points with Gill and KJ in second and third position. And then we got the two, well, we got a Williams and then we got a Red Bull as well. So that was quite, I think everyone's been able to stay in the train, which is great to see. No major instance on the first lap so far, keeping it cautious. Antoine in 4th place. So he's dropped a little bit from KJ, but he's got Suka catching up as well. And we do have, some spinners. Toxic has spun in the background. And Lamborghini as well, our championship leader, has gone all the way from near the front to 19 positions. And one of those two made contact. I wasn't sure who else was in that pile up as well. Maybe it was just these two. But what a shame for these two. I think I'm just seeing if they got damaged, but I will find out in a second. But Antoine very close to the back of KJ now and is looking to capitalise on this as we head towards lap 2. And you could just about see the mountains as well, which is great to see. And you've got to be in within 3/2 in order to get moves done around here. Watch out for lap 3. That's where we'll see a majority of moves made around here. M. Shaw did a great job on the medium tyres in 9th position. He saw Lamborghini having a little bit of issues, but Lamborghini has going onto the hard tyres. I'm sure the Alfa Romeo driver will be hoping for safety car. Toxic, however, has gone for the medium tyres, so a different strategy for him, but he's going to hope the mediums last for a bit longer. Probably go onto the softs. Not many hards to use around this track, even if they go for the harder option, so they got to pick their tyres wisely when they open the lobby, which for some of them they did, for some of them they have not. And for some of them, if they do not get consistent podiums, consistent top 5 potentially within the next few races, then that's their championship over. But we have seen many occasions, including Xbox actually, where we saw someone who was many points down at this half of the season, like a big gap, but then he clawed it back and went on to win the championship on countback. So anything can happen, and you do not give up around Paul Ricard, of course. And we are approaching DRS territory now, so if you're within 1 second of the car behind, you will be able to potentially eye up for a move. I'm looking at the ERS actually deployment. People have been saving them quite well just for this moment. Obviously, there's not many overtaking opportunities. But I think the closest is potentially Greeny on Royal Valley. Greeny has had a good getaway off the start as well. Royal Valley, I believe, started in 13th, I believe. So he's gained 1 position. So has Ascom as well. Let's see what Greeny can do. Is Greeny's hard tyres pace much more consistent compared to Royal Valley's? We shall see. He's not using his overtake, but he's getting good slipstream from Royal Valley. But he's only using it when he sees fit. He doesn't want to run out of ERS too quickly. I made that similar mistake around here and have not had enough for the end of the race. Don't forget, if you are liking the content you're seeing at PSGL at the moment, click on the subscribe button and turn notifications on, and like this video as well. We're 1.66k subscribers, so massive shout out to you all that are watching and tuning in to us every week. And like I said, lap 6 is the pit stop window for potential 1 stops to go onto the hard compounder tyres. The conditions being very, very stable right now, so I think it's going to come down to pace at the moment. CC Brave, 3/10 behind Fenny actually. Fenny, I believe, looking at the standings, Fenny, he hasn't scored any points yet. He's looking to score his first point this season. Don't forget, he's only joined PSGL F2 midway through the season. I believe he joined at round 3 in Austria as reserve, and then in Belgium he was full-time. So let's see what CC Brain can do. He's got a really good run actually on Fenny, goes to the left-hand side. Then he covers CC Brain off, but CC Brain saying, no, you're having none of that. Heading into turn 9 now, and CC Brain does a fantastic job. A little bit of a love tap from both of them, but CC Brain's up into 7th place. I wonder if he can use that advantage to catch up to Hadler then. We've got Gil and Banner also fighting as well. Right, like I said, Gil could be waiting for the perfect opportunity. Meanwhile, CC Brain's teammate Greeny is fighting with Ascom. Ascom went around the outside of turn 11, heading towards turn 12. Almost made a bit of contact actually. With Ascom going off the track, be careful that Ascom doesn't have an unsafe rejoin. We've got Simo as well also in this fight. Just look at the train in the back, and they're only just fighting for P12. Don't forget the top 10 score points. So the more position they gain at this point in the race, the better. Manolo is fighting for P13 against the Red Bull driver. And Manolo stays P14. I think watch out for Shaw on Fenny now. I think Fenny is struggling with those soft tyres, and I strongly think that Fenny is going to be pitting a lot earlier than the rivals. He's got to, because otherwise it gets dark in traffic, and the undercut, I've seen it to be powerful, but you'll lose more time. As Toxic Tomato is out of the race. I'm not sure if he's binned it in the pit lane or if he's retired in the pits. No, he has retired in the pits. Shaw has got past Fenny quite early on. And I'm interested about Benny actually. I'm looking at Benny's ERS. Benny is on 11%. Now I wonder if he was just so concentrating on getting his way through the field that he forgot about saving his ERS, which is a bit sad really. You don't want to use up your ERS too quickly, so Benny's got a lot of work to do. Gil is now your race leader. Gil's overtaken Bannon, and there was so much that was going on in the space of a lap as well. And sorry, the game audio is a bit too loud. I had to turn it down a little bit there. I have turned it down. It's all good. Thank you very much for that, Dan. As we've got a yellow flag in set, as that's just Toxic's car that was having a bit of an off there. But I wonder if Banner is going to be wondering, maybe he should get the overtake done now. But look at Gil's straight line speed at the moment. Yes, Gil has a better straight line speed actually as well. Yeah, let us know if the game volume is a lot better than it was. I forgot to change the game volume on the in-game, which was very annoying. But something I should remember for next week. We're approaching the pit stop phase at the moment, with M Short being passed by Benny. Has M Short disconnected by any chance? Because M Short is a ghost or something. That's very, very weird. Very weird. I think that's why Benny got past him. Now, is Gil gonna go? I don't think anyone's gonna go for the undercut yet. Maybe I would say next lap. Luckily M Short has joined the session, so probably a lap later than I predicted for their first pit stops, but the hards don't last very, very long around it. So Suku then, 5th place at the moment. Scored some decent points so far. He actually got a podium in Belgium. He's looking to get a few places better today, but he's not too bad right now. Rold Valley actually gets past M Short for P10. The deltas have gone on my screen, sadly. Everyone is still stuck in that DRS train. So the driver's going to find it very hard for people to overtake right now. But I think the reason why Gil made the move was because Gil had the DRS, whereas Banana did not. And yeah, M Short seems to be having the bad luck this season in terms of internet connections, but hopefully he will stay. Hopefully he'll stay in the session for now, and he'll be able to fight back. He's still in 11th though, so he could have been in the worst situation, but he's still one place below a point. As Gil goes into the pits, will Banner respond? Nope, he does not. So Gil going for the undercut. Antoine is saying thank you very much. I'm pitting too. Suku is pitting as well. And we got Fenny in the pits as well. Everyone's going in the pits pretty much, apart from the ones that have their teammates nearby, because unfortunately double stacking does not work. So we've got one Haas, one Williams, one Racing Point, one Ferrari, one... Basically, the ones that are staying out are either the ones on the hards or the ones that had no choice to stay out. You would have lost more time, but... So Gil Gil's come out in clear air, actually, which is just what he wanted. And this will get a chance for him to produce the best first lap that he possibly can on those hards. And really start to push so he can get ahead of Banana in the pit lane. And Malino gets past Greeny into turn 8. And look at Simo, actually, with some good straight line speed on M Short. Maybe M Short is struggling on those means, but M Short could be looking for a move on Royal Valley. Who said you can't overtake here in Paul Ricard? Royal Valley has to go defensive. But you wouldn't normally overtake it, so that's why probably Royal Valley was not expecting it. Heading past turn 12 now. I'm going to see the likes of Banner pit. We've got Banner and Elting into the pits. KJ and Banner in. Hadler's in as well. So they all go in for the hard tyres by looks of things. No one has gone for the mediums, actually. So it is going to be a dry session at the end, which is always a good thing. So where's Gil, actually? So Gil's going to come across the final corner. We're going to see where Banner is. It's going to be a very close. And I think Gil... No, scrap that. It's not going to be close. Gil's miles ahead. And Antoine's jumped Banner as well. Yeah, the undercuts worked, but Antoine has unfortunately got a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, I think Banner was wondering, I think he should have gone for the undercut, but it shows that the undercut's powerful. So Gil and Antoine, first and second respectively. I believe this is also Antoine's home track as well, so he could be seeing a French 1-2 here, which is ideal for Antoine. Antoine was another person who got the win on track. I believe it was in Singapore, but he did get a penalty from the stewards, so the race win got taken away from him. So he hasn't got a win in PSGL yet. He did get it on stream, but he hasn't actually got it properly. So does he have the pure pace to catch up to Gil? He has been quicker than Gil in most races, actually, but we shall see. As Ascon goes into the pits, as he's retired from the session, he's given up. So he must have had a really bad race so far. I wonder if he's picked up any damage as well. But one Mercedes out of the race, sadly. As more time penalties are starting to come into play right now. And we'll just watch, I think we're going to watch the barrels for the people that have already pitted as well. As we're still seeing people just not budging just yet. It was like that, I believe, a few weeks ago. It was like that in Singapore, it was like that in Bahrain Short, where they were just in the train for so long, and then when someone else went for a move, everyone went for a move, basically. So you don't want to be the first person to make the move, because you don't want to be the first person to make a mistake. But KJ, on the back of Banana, KJ, I think I've seen to be a lot faster. I did predict KJ to get the win today, but he hasn't got it so far. He's in a net P4. You can see the downforce that is needed around certain parts of the track. It's good to have a setup with cornering speed as well, but there are some straights around here where, like the DRS trail turn 7 and 8, if you're lacking the speed there, there's going to be people that go straight past you before head into the corner of turn 8. Now we're on lap 11 out of 27. Benny Lee's on track, but we got a lot of people still yet to make their first stop, as M. Short has picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. And we got Luca, actually, that was about a 10th behind Greeny. I wonder if Luca could be one of the people to blink on those hard tyres. Now, I'm looking at the tyre life of these hard tyres. They last 18 laps, so expect to be around about then for them to put onto the soft tyres, because softs can last 8 to 9 laps around there. So I would say the end of lap 18, really. But they are going to hope for a safety car. We haven't had any safety cars yet. And Luca is doing a great job to fend off all the cars behind as well. But they're going to be worried soon because Gil is catching. So is Antoine as well. Antoine not being able to close into Gil, but that's allowing Dana, KJ, Suku, CC Brain. CC Brain, mega effort from him this race. He is currently in a net P6 at the moment, so he's going to score some very good points for the Renault team. As we've got Simo and M. Short in the pits. Now, Simo, I wonder if he's going for a hard to medium strategy. He thinks that the softs can't go as long as they did, so he goes on to the mediums then. M. Short goes on to the hards. Now, I wonder why did Simo pit now? I wonder if his tyres were struggling as well. Because if that's the case, how is he going to manage to be on these tyres for so long as well? So it's going to be a bit of a gamble for the Red Bull driver, but never say never, really. Let's see if we've got any more moves then coming up. Luca not quite being able to catch up to Greeny. And we've got, I believe, Banana, who's just a little bit further closing up to Antoine. He's got the better straight line speed. Is he going to go for it? No, Antoine closed the door. I'm sure Antoine saw Banana coming. So Antoine stays in a net P2, 9th on track. Is Banana likes to always go for gambles. Is he going to go for the gamble into turn 10? He's going to have a look. He's going to the right-hand side, actually. Who said you can't overtake in Paul Ricard? Well, Banner has proven that you can. He's going to try and close in on Antoine and Gil then. Is he holding on to his line, heading towards turn 12? He does. Brilliant job from Banner. Excellent race from him so far. And I think Banner's going to prove a point that if you can't get past Gil, I'm going to try and do that. This is going to be an insane battle towards the end. Antoine is struggling. KJ also gets past Antoine in the final corner. Now, Mark in the chat saying very soon to put on the medium tyres. I do agree with you. I did say it was a gamble, so I do agree that the Red Bull driver went on the mediums too soon. But it happens. It may depend on the tyre line potentially as well. But we could see punches around here. I've seen many times in the French Grand Prix in league racing where they just get a punch on the last lap and they've been leading the race and it's just annoying. So it's going to be very, very close. Here comes KJ on Banana. KJ, before he heads to turn 8, gets the move done nicely. And up into a net P2. So we could see a two-way fight for P2. This is what we like to see. KJ's actually not that far behind Gil as well. I wonder if there's going to be team orders, or I wonder if the Racing Point team bosses are going to allow these two drivers to actually race each other. I think they will be allowed to race, but when it gets close to the championship, I'm sure they will they'll put one driver over the other. But we will see, of course. As we're on lap 14, halfway, we're basically halfway there, basically, of the race. And we still got plenty of laps still to go. And speaking of that, Fabi and Manalo head into the pit. They're going to do for the undercut strategy for the ones on the hard compounder tyres. So I wonder where they're going to come out in traffic. I wonder if Benny and Royal Valley are going to come out ahead of them. Meanwhile, Gil still leads by 2.0 seconds. Could be on for his second win in a row, which will be amazing to see. He wasn't even expecting to get the win last time about in Zandvoort. So I'm guessing it's making him more motivated to get the win today. Now, we've seen Blizzard in F1 being one of the most successful drivers in PSGL around this circuit. Could Gil be another driver to add to that list, potentially? He's been taking a long time to get used to the wheel that he has, but he's starting to get back to his true pace, which is great to see. And we have got a lot of drivers in the pits now, with Benny and Royal Valley staying out, Greeny, Luca and Ruben in the pits. So that's going to allow Gil to climb his way up the order. We're going to watch the gap between, I would say, Gil and Eltink. Not that far, actually, now, 2.3. It's a bit stable at the moment. Banner's still there, though. He's holding on. He's still trying to catch up to Eltink. So the race is not over for the Haas driver. Antoine as well is doing this. Suku 2, CC Brain. We could see race penalties definitely decide this race. We've seen it decide many races in the past. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers getting a penalty, which I'm quite shocked about. I thought more people would be getting penalties at this stage, but it's not raining. Usually when it rains, they're more prone to be getting penalties around here, because obviously you can't barely see the track when it's raining. But luckily no signs of rain at all in this race so far, so they are able to keep going, which is great to see. And we're going to watch, I would say, Fenny is going to be the one that most of out of the ones that have just pitted, actually. So I wonder if Simo's going to overtake him. But meanwhile, Benny and Royal Valley, they go into the pit. So they're the final 2 drivers to make their mandatory stop. So Royal Valley is going to go in. I think they're going to go onto the mediums. They can't go on the softs now, surely. Yes, they go onto the mediums. So no one is doing the hard to soft strategy. So where is... They're going to come out ahead of Simo. So Simo gets ahead of Benny. It's going to be close, though, into the pit exit. Oh, my goodness. Manano and M. Short gets ahead. Fabi does not. Benny's going to try and go for a cheeky move on the right-hand side into turn 3, which he does. Cleverly well thought out from the Ferrari driver. A big DRS train. We've got a Ferrari, we've got a Mercedes, we've got an Alfa Romeo, we've got a Renault, we've got another Ferrari. Fabi as well, looking very good on M Short. DRS wide open. The mediums coming into fruition here as well. We are definitely seeing the tyre advantage heading towards turn 8. But they're still going side by side as well, heading into turn 9. We've got also Greeny in the middle of this as well. This could be 3 wide. One person will definitely need to back out of this one, because otherwise it will end in disaster. Greeny, I think, wanted to try and take advantage there of any people's mistakes. Greeny's still going side by side with M Short. You can see M Short with those hards not it's not being well fine-tuned, but Ruben doing very well in 15th. Don't forget, Ruben started from the back of the grid. So we've got Ruben going side by side. We're starting to see more risks, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we like to see. People taking risks heading towards the final few corners. And this is what's going to decide some position potentially as well. They do not get any penalties. So Ruben going side by side with M Short into turn 1. Manolo getting a 3-second time penalty. But at the moment, Manolo in the points. But with Benny so close, he's going to get it. We still have someone side by side, actually. It was Royal Rally getting past M Short. I wonder if Luke is going to do the same. So, your race leader is under more pressure now as KJ has closed the gap to about 1.8 seconds now. It was 2.5 seconds a moment ago. Now it's 1.8. So I wonder if Gil is saving his tyres and fuel at this stage, because KJ is absolutely pushing to the limit. He's on 2% ERS right now. So that might hurt him a little bit, I would say. And I wonder why he's using his overtake now. He doesn't need to. He needs to concentrate on saving his errors so he can actually get past him in the latter stages of the race. Because otherwise it could be advantage Gil, the way this is going. And we got CC Brain in 6th position. Who is, I think, looking to get to because M Short's out the race. He's given up as well. So both Mercedes drivers out the race so far. Both of them, I think all 3 retirements have been voluntary in the pit. So we had no retirements on track. Well, it is really hard really to retire, to have a retirement here, to be honest. Unless, like, there's contact with someone or anything like that. So hopefully these drivers can keep it clean for the last 11 laps or so. We've got someone that's very close. Greeny on Fabi. Greeny on Fabi. Still points to be decided here. And I wonder if Greeny is going to want those points. Fabi knows what to do. You can see Greeny coming in his mirrors. Greeny almost had the edge there, but Greeny's also running out of ERS. Let me have a look at how much ERS people do have, actually. So, World Rally on 19. Luca on 19 as well. Ruben on 2. Namakina on 12. So, yeah, they're all roughly about the 20% mark. Fabi's doing very well on 45%, so he's doing well saving his ERS. So could this be the advantage he needs to get past Benny? Because the more ERS you have around this circuit, the better, and you can use that overtake to your advantage as Manolo gets past Benny. But can Benny fight back with the switchback? This is going to be the crucial factor. I think he's going to, you know. He's going to try and go for the lunge that he's looking for. Heading towards turn 1. Nope, Fenny stays ahead, stays behind. Benny. I don't think Benny needs to fight these lot because he knows he's got they got penalties. But I wonder if Benny's still fighting, because I wonder if Benny's got any warnings himself. I think we'll find out as the session goes on, really. As it's starting to get a little bit more cloudier right now. So the track temperature may have changed ever so slightly. Here comes Benny. Benny also has the DRS, but I'm sure Benny has the ERS advantage as well. He's on 27%. And we're going to go back to the front then. Suku drawing in on Antoine now. 4 temps is the gap now. 3 temps. I think Suku could be playing the backseat role here, but the more that you stay behind a driver, the more that you put off getting the move done, the less of a chance that you possibly have of actually getting the move, and you're more than likely going to have the likes of CC Brain catching up. Hadler as well. So the only one on the top 7 to get a penalty is Antoine. So Antoine's going to drop quite a bit. Fenny gets past Fabi into the final corner. But look at Greeny once again. It's going to be similar situation to what we saw earlier on. Can Fenny hold on his line? Greeny is going on the attack. There's a bit of contact. Please don't make it 4 wide, guys. Please don't make it 4 wide. I think they're gonna... Oh, as Greeny goes off the circuit. I think he has to concede that. We've got Ruben as well almost off the circuit too. I mean, these guys in the midfield are definitely giving it everything. As Antoine has got a 3-second time penalty. Again, so he's on to 6 seconds at the moment. But here comes Ruben on, I believe, was it Greeny? Yeah, it was Greeny. So we're seeing more battles for the midfield than the back position, which is still great to see. We're still getting battles now. I don't think we're going to get a risky move here. Maybe from Ruben, though. Oh, speaking of risky moves, here comes Ruben. Heading past turn 10 into turn 11. Oh, Ruben's right on the gearbox as well. Jesus, how do they not get damage from that? This is crazy from Ruben. Ruben's going to gain no matter what due to the amount of retirements we've had this race. Greeny was probably not expecting that pressure as Fenny had a little bit of a slide there. And Greeny's going to say, thank you very much. And there's position from Fenny. So Greeny is up into 14th position. Ruben may have the upper hand on these two, you know. If Ruben could get past Fenny, maybe he could just have a one-way fight with Greeny, we don't know. And it's not long before these guys could catch up to Luca. So this could be absolutely sensational. Meanwhile, Suku is right on the back of Antoine then. DRS enabled. This is a chance which he does not take right now. Maybe he could take it next lap. There's also a three-way fight for the final podium slot. I think the top two have been decided. The gap has been stable there, but look at this. Suku to the right-hand side he goes into turn 10. Could he get a double overtake on Banner potentially? No, Banner closes the door, but that would have been insane if the Red Bull driver actually did that double overtake. But Suku, he's having a fantastic race. He's one more place off of getting a podium and equaling his best result of the season. He's been driving like his race has depended on it. So Suku really doing a fantastic job on keeping the guys behind. But is he going to find the pure pace to get past Banner now? On lap 22. Fabi is right on the back of Malino. He's got the straight line speed that he needed to. Ooh, Malino, that was a bit too risky there, but Malino closed the door on Fabi. It's hard to tell if Fabi's got damage or not. I don't think he has. Benny as well on the back of this. Benny will be loving this. I think we'll probably sense a move coming up soon from one of these guys. Maybe Fabi will go for another attempt because Fabi has DRS. Malino does not have the DRS that he needed to. So here comes Fabi. Side by side. I don't think Malino was going to challenge that. But Malino could go for a move into turn 10, but we'll see. Benny, a little bit too further back for now, but Malino's still on the gearbox, well, near the gearbox. 2 tenths separating them at the moment. You can't afford to go for a space which is not there. But Malino just waiting, very, very patient at the moment. And the reason why M. Shaw has retired, I think was just due to his Wi-Fi. He didn't want to cause any more trouble on the racetrack, which is fair enough. Shame for M. Short. Maybe he can go bouncing back next week when we head to, I believe, Canada is the next track. So that will be a good, exciting race, I believe. So here comes Royal Valley then, as well. Royal Valley or no penalty, so this could potentially be for track position. I'm watching the gap between Suku and Antoine, and also Suku and Banner as well, and CC Brain. Let's actually jump to that battle, actually, because this could get very spicy. Greeny, CC Brain's teammate, has got a 3-second penalty. But there comes CC Brain. Definitely has more power on his engine right now, as in more pace. Here he goes then, up into 5th place and gets past Antoine. And CC Brain can see the podium in its sights right now. CC Brain's best result of the season was a P8 in Singapore. But all it takes is for one driver to potentially get a penalty, and that could definitely change the outcome. But yeah, CC Brain doing very well. Let's look at the position changes, actually. So we've got Gil that's gained 1, KJ's gained 2, Suku's gained 1, CC Brain's gained 4. Simon, I have to say, well done to him. He's in 7th right now. Gained 6 as Greeny in the pits then. Is he going for fastest lap? I wonder if he is. Or is he calling it a day? He is going for fastest lap. On the softs. Fair play, but you don't get a point if you're outside the top 10 for fastest lap. Only if you're inside the top 10. The DRS train is definitely growing at the moment. And this is what I like about F2. Even if some people are in DRS trains, there are some people that just be like very, very bold and go for a move. But I think the one that could potentially go for a move more than some of the drivers could be Simo. But again, he's a bit too further back to get the move done. So he's not going to go for it. Saving ERS now. This could make difference between whether you're getting a podium or maybe not. Suku on 47%. So he's still on a good amount right now. Banner's on 620, but he's running out of fuel, so he is going to be in huge danger compared to the guys around him. I wonder if CC Brain has got the fuel light somewhere. No, he does not. So yeah, Banner's the only one in pure danger out of that, unfortunately. But it's not going to be a battle for the win, but that doesn't matter. We're still getting a battle for the final podium spot, so that's better than nothing. As we've got 3 more laps to go of this French Grand Prix. We're on lap 25 now. Will we see people start to go for moves this late on? Because you can't really go it on the final lap, because that's when most mistakes happen, because you're probably going to be under, I would say, a lot of pressure. So if I was some of those drivers, maybe go for the move now, if you know you have the pace. But there's a yellow flag. And there's a... Oh, that's Greeny, I believe, isn't it? I don't know. I wasn't sure who it was, but someone did bin it. And, yeah, it is Greeny. Or did he just come out of the pits? I don't know. Actually, no, it's not Greeny. It's Fenny, maybe. It's hard to tell with McLarens and Renaults and whatever. It's hard to tell the colour schemes on this game. Anyway... Gil has been driving a solid race so far, but let's not concentrate too much on Gil. He's been loving life out right there in front. Wow! Suku's under pressure from CC Brain all of a sudden. Hang on a second. The battle for P4 is not over, folks. Don't you dare go to F1 yet. We still got a race on our hands for F2. This is the place to be right now. They're in qualifying. You can wait to watch F1 just for a few more moments. Because CC Brain is having a race of his life. KJ's got a penalty. So, this is the battle for the podium. Actually, no, it's not, because KJ's a little bit... I've got a comfortable gap. But we'll see. We'll check the penalty in a second. But anyway... CC Brain, I have to say... I would say drive the day so far, CC Brain. You probably weren't expecting to be doing this well. He was under the radar at the start of the race, but... Towards the end of the race, he's been absolutely rapid. Look at that, 3/10 behind Suku at the moment. And Fenny's out of the race. He's unfortunately given up as well. I think all the retirements have been pit lane retirements. But here comes CC Brain. He's not going to get the move on Suku. But Simo get past Antoine. So the 2 Red Bulls are going to get huge constructors points here at the moment. Simo's having a really good race too. It's going to be hard to choose who I think has shone today. Can Simo get CC Brain? This is shaping up to be another crazy end to this Grand Prix. This is why I like this F2 season. Absolutely insane at the moment. And we're about to be approaching the final lap very soon, and still many positions to be decided. And we are going to get a home Grand Prix victory in a lap's time, which I have to say will put a smile on everyone's face, I would say, to be honest. Final lap then, final chance for people to go for moves here. KJ has caught the gap up to 1.4 seconds, so I don't think he's going to find enough pace to get within DRS range. So we'll see. So I wonder if Gil is saving fuel. He is. So I don't know, but I don't think is it going to be enough for KJ to get DRS? He's got DRS. KJ has got DRS to Gil, but it's probably going to be too little too late. He's not going to get it on tracks. He's got a penalty. Greeny's setting the fastest lap so far, but my oh my, it's turned. As Greeny unfortunately has retired from the race, but let's ignore about that. CC Brain and Suka, they can't get past Banner. Simo unfortunately can't get past CC Brain. But here come the two Williams drivers, Hadler and Antoine. What is going on? We also got Banner and Suka going for a move into turn 11, heading towards turn 12. You can see in the background as well, these going on. CC Brain can save the potential podium as well. We got the two racing points heading towards the final few corners. Let's just ride on board with them. KJ had very good pace towards the end, but it was too little too late. But Gil takes his second race win in a row. Congratulations to him. Well done. What about the podium? Banner takes third. Suku fourth. CC Brain sixth actually, because he got a penalty. I'm not entirely sure, but Fabi's gone from goodness knows where to fifth place, so well done to him. Brain in sixth, CC Brain in sixth, Benny seventh. So I think he gained from 10th to 7th. Ruben in 8th. So quite a lot of big position gains, and I did say penalties could play a massive factor, and it definitely did today. My oh my, that was insane. But yeah, I'm almost certain I'm gonna be definitely speaking to Gil after this race, because I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. I did say, can you get the win? He wasn't sure, but I had faith in this guy. He can thank me later. He can thank me later. But we got 2 racing points and a house on the podium. This could be very spicy for the constructors, but here we go then. Gil is your race winner. KJ in second. Banner third. Suku fourth. Fabi from 14th to 5th by just keeping it penalty free in the 5th. I believe CC Brain got a penalty on the final lap. Because I was wondering why CC Brain dropped positions. But yeah, so CC Brain down to 6th. Benny in 7th. He kept it clean as well. Ruben also kept it clean from dead last on the grid in 8th. Simo in 9th. Antoine gets the final points paying position in 10th. Because he got 6 seconds, he dropped all the way down to there due to that DRS train. Hadler in 11th. Royal Rally in 12th. Luca in 13th. Manilo 14th. Lamborghini again, another DNF. Well, not another DNF, another non-points finish in a row. Which does mean, actually, I believe, according to my maths, Gil is leading the championship. Gil is leading the championship by quite some margin due to Lamborghini's non-scoring. But I think there's going to be a few drivers that will gain from that non-scoring for that. So I'll see if Gil wants an interview. I'll see if Gil wants an interview. So I'll ask him if anyone wants any podium interviews. In the meanwhile, you can also watch F1 as well. The link's in the chat, as Connor has put in there. So make sure you watch qualifying there whilst you got this in the background, watching the interviews. So hopefully we can get someone in. So we'll just wait for a couple of more minutes. But I have to say, a few drivers to point out for sensational performances. KJ for pulling up that good pace at the end. If he did it a few laps earlier, or if there was a few more laps in the race, maybe he could have gone for the win on track at least. Fabi as well, but keeping it clean. CC Brain with a... Without the penalty from CC Brain, I think CC Brain, I'm still going to give driver the day, I think I would say to CC Brain, but yeah, it's going to be tough. But anyway, we've got Gil in the rating room, so we're going to get him in. So I am just, before that, I'm going to move over to the interview screen, which I've got. So, because it is just me this week, so I'm having to do a lot of things myself. But here we go then. Here is Gil in the booth then. So, Gil, another race win for you, but this time at your home circuit. Tell us, how do you feel? You looked very comfortable out there.
Yes, P1.
Yes, that's the reaction I like to see.
Oh, that was a great race. Honestly, that was a fucking great race.
Language. Don't worry. You've won a race. I'll allow it.
Oh yeah, that was close. I was pushing during all the race, so I'm quite exhausted. So yeah, I don't know what to say honestly. I push, and I push.
Yeah, because it looked like you were in control like the whole way as well. You got past the likes of Banner at the beginning as well, because you didn't get pole to begin with. Did you think you were going to get the victory even without that pole position, or did you know that you had to work for it ever so slightly?
I didn't know, to be honest. I didn't even know my pace, so yeah. During the race, I was in control, but I had 2 warnings for half of the race, I think. So it was very tight. I didn't want to get another warning, and yeah, I managed to keep my teammates behind me by 2 seconds, I guess. And yeah, that was enough. So I'm very happy. My tires, it was a limit because I had 77%, I guess.
Ooh,
So,
that was a bit too close for comfort, I have to say, because if there was 3 more percent, you probably would have had a puncher there. So,
yeah.
what was the importance of managing your tyres there? Because obviously the tyres last 18 laps as well. I was almost certain it was going to be close to puncher territory. What made it so you did not get a puncher?
I'm lucky, I guess.
Luck.
But, yeah, during the last lap, I was very calm and yeah, I wanted my tires to go to the end, so they listened to me.
Yes, according to also my maths, if I've done my maths correctly, which hopefully I have, you're also with your second race victory, you're leading the championship right now. So
Wow.
Because Lamborghini didn't actually score points this week, so now that you're at the top again, do you think you're gonna win the championship, or is Lamborghini gonna fight back with a vengeance?
I think I won't be able to win the championship because the last race in Brazil, I don't think I will be here, and the next race, it's I don't know too. So
Let me check what the next race. I did say Canada earlier, but yeah, it is Canada.
Yeah, Canada is my worst track. So to be honest, I will be happy if I'm not here because it's a mess. To be honest, I never played on wheel on this track because I hate this track so much. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and out of all the tracks that you are going to attend for, are there any tracks where that you like that you think that you're going to get potential podium or another victory, or are you just hoping for luck or skill, really? So what tracks do you think come into mind as being one of your favourites left on the calendar?
Let me check the calendar.
We got Japan, we got Canada, Japan, Baku, and Brazil.
In Japan, it could be great, but I need to do a good lap in quali, so it's quite hard for me to be good in quali. I was very surprised to be second, to be honest, because it was a shit lap. But yeah, after that, Baku is a great track too. So yeah, I think I will be quick on this track.
Yeah, not a bad answer indeed as well. I was seeing if we have anyone else in the box. I don't think we do. So that's it for F2 then this week. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully we will have Mr. Owen White back in the commentary box with me next week as we head to Canada in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. I love this circuit to commentate on, and I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic race, so don't miss out. You can watch F1, F5 and F6 at the moment as I think they're just, looking at the time, they're just about to start their races. So make sure you check it out as well. With the amount of action happening in this race, I'm sure these guys that have races left are going to have fantastic races too. So I've been JessGames95. We hope you all have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place for the Canadian Grand Prix. Goodbye.